E.K. Clark, Edwin Chike Clark. Yes, because Edwin Chike Clark. The Igbos were united when Paradebajo died. All of them were saying, "Oh, rest in peace, sir." This time around, the death of E.K. Clark, people are like, "No." Some are saying Igbo, some are saying this one. Others are saying no. This one is against Biafra agitation. If you are watching our subscribers, kindly subscribe. On notifications, drop your comment, let's know what you are thinking, press the like button so that other people can comment. Mr. Chinedu, you are an Igbo man, what do you think about the death of E.K. Clark, Edwin Clark?
I think it came from the concept of independence, a pre-independence concept and ideology, where they are able to find themselves. We have one who enjoyed nationalism and socialism, including welfareism. We have one too who became a councillor under Samuel Obamudia and later traveled to London to study and came back, and Gowon happened to give him one of the biggest appointments that made him one of the richest as at that time. But that is not what we are talking about today. Who is Awolowo? Who is Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe? If you look at the last brigade, the last brigade bred by these people, that is just the end of an era. But among the two, one seems to have a broader understanding of the national issue, of what Nigeria is today and how Nigerians should react to present day Nigeria. Not Nigeria of 1960s, not Nigeria of 1970s. Not Nigeria of 1950s. I'm talking of reacting to the situation on ground today. Agreed that the labors of our heroes past are now in vain. These are heroes, maybe in all the ramifications. But Aya Adebanjo was an Awoyist and a Zikist. He first come into political contact from Azikiwe. He had a little romance with Azikiwe for some very long time, but before he now moved to become an Awoist. But the ideology never left him. So he has a touch of socialism and welfareism. Then he has also a touch of nationalism coming from, of course, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. But Edwin Clark was bred, tailored by Gowon. Gowon is the first person that appointed him at the federal level. So that was where the concept, the bread, the treatment, the fragmentation conquest, the issue of South-South, Super Pandey Fasiga begin to come in. That was from there Gowon was able to transfer hatred. By Edwin Clark, there was no investing in Bayelsa. He's only Romania. Government college in Mahia. That's where he schooled. They were contemporaries of Chinua Achebe in those days. So many of them, Okigbo them, thousands of renowned scientists, professors as in those days. But I've never seen it one day by Edwin Clark come out to say, yes, I was trained by an Igbo man. I've not seen it. It's schooled in Government College in Mahia. Abia State. Go and verify. Go on. I'm online. Let them go and find out whether what I'm saying is a lie. So after having contact with Gowon over this one, and the issue of Biafra came up, he was able to align with the Fulanis. That was where the alignment started. And that was why he's saying that Igbos should conveniently, under conquest and operation, stay in Nigeria. That he has no problem with that. But anything that has to do with Biafra, he kick against it. He said he's campaigning for Igbo to stay in Nigeria. That's what makes him a nationalist. Nobody should. He is fear that some certain people have discovered the secret and was able to put it on the proper perspective, that the issue of disintegration of Nigeria should not be based on emotion and sentiment on what you are able to gather for yourself as a result of Fulani patronage. No. The white man said, after 100 years of existence as a nation, you are free to go your separate ways. Edwin Clark, yes, a leader, a regional champion, According to them, South. Go and Google South. Go and Google it. Write South in Google.
South.
No, Google it. That's to tell you that there's one somewhere. Google South there. Go to Google, put South. Then Google will warn you. Then put Southeast there, you see it there. Put Southwest there, you see it. Put North there, you see it. Put North, Google will warn you. No, I'm telling you what the level that Fulani is used by Edwin Clark, Sarawiwa was living in Ojuku's father's house until Abata killed him. And they call it abandoned property, your own brother. You that is from Delta State, Bomadi. You're not even an Ijo man. But you see Nigeria pray say, Ijo leader, Ijo this. I begin to wonder. So Edwin Clark was not an Ijo man. He's from Delta State. Bomadi in Delta State, very close to Patani. I have been there. He in the same place with almost River State. He's in the same place with the Madreke. So what I'm trying to say at this point is that we can see where that sentiment, that influence is coming from. It's not like that of Ayo Adebanjo, who went through a broader, learned, exposed personalities like Azikiwe and Awolowo. And what thing I love for Ayo Adebanjo, to be honest with you, is that he did not allow the influence of the yesteryears to define his view of present-day Nigeria. The only person that has remained archaic on issue of national interest, saying I want to name the Kano. Well, what are you talking about? Well, that is the way it is. Another thing is that Edwin Clark only supported Peter Obi. He came out because if you have to remain in Nigeria as an Igbo, I will support you. But if you want to remain a Biafra as an Igbo, I will not support you. You see his concept. But Ayo Adebanjo never said that. He said, if you fail to restructure Nigeria, let the Biafrans go. He put it very clearly. And let the Yorubas go. He said, if you fail, wait, are you not hearing? Are you not listening? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you see the concept of these two people? And that's why Ayo Adebanjo has more positive reaction online than Edwin Clark. He has more positive support, praise, encomium. People celebrated his life at times than this man that is neither here nor there. How can you say that? You can only support you when you are an Igbo man, when you say you are going to stay in Nigeria. That is what I am trying to tell you, and that's why you see people of opinion and response is being fragmented based on people want to judge you based on what you give out, what you represent, and they have looked at him very deeply. You do know, how many times have you seen Edwin Clark come out and say they should release Nnamdi Kanu? But what he did was to make sure that he poisoned the remaining leaders like Jonathan and the rest of them on the issue of Biafra. That is just it. That is just the way it is. And a lot of people have come to realize that these two sages. One is a regional champion, Edwin Clark. Ayo Adebanjo is a national champion. If I want to rate them, you understand? So, who is more nationalistic? Who is more patriotic now? If you look at it very well, and that is why people are saying that to an extent they are not too happy with the role Edwin Clark actually played on the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Igbo oppression in Nigeria, and of course the quest for disintegration of Nigeria.
Thank you so much for coming.
I can tell you there's a lot of reservation about the position and his understanding and his reaction to the Igbo problem. He might not have an issue with the Igbo staying in Nigeria, but he has issue with the Biafra. You see the two different things there. You don't have Igbo staying permanently, whether good or bad, and continue to campaign for nationalism, continue to campaign for integration of the Igbo. But when it comes to the issue of Biafra, he takes another stand. But it's not like that with Pa Ayo Adebanjo. Then I begin to put these two people on the scale. I begin to wonder what actually, where did their reasoning and their philosophy begin to clash? You know, what orientation do they have from the beginning? Who are they? You know, from where to where? And I discovered that Pa Ayo Adebanjo was actually single-handedly picked by Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. And later he switched over to socialist concept under Awolowo. And you can see the relationship now, you know. So he was an Ezekist, you know, then an Awoist. So he was able to balance nationalism with socialism that attracts socialism, and of course, you know what that it means, Republican in nature. So that is Pa Ayo Adebanjo. That is why you see Pa Ayo Adebanjo is never controversial. He has been standing on what his conviction till he passed on to glory. And I celebrate him. Yes, personally, I celebrate him. You know, I also celebrate, you know, Edwin Clark, even though, you know, me and him know they follow to side pass on the issue that has to do with Biafra. You know, so you can see where he's getting it now. You know, when he became a councillor, he worked under Ubemudia, the then Southwest. No, Midwest, sorry, Bendel or thereabout. He's from Delta State, you know, not an Ijaw man per se, but you can see the configuration that led to him claiming anything that has to do with the Ijaw leader. Who made he's not an Ijaw leader. Ijaw is not the Delta State. The largest place you can see Ijaw people is in Bayelsa. You can see how controversial Pa Edwin Chike Clark was. He schooled in government college here before he went to London to go and study. But on coming back, he got Gowon's attention, and that was where he made most of his money, under Gowon. So he had that orientation and that favoritism and that understanding that the North made me. And you can see, when it comes to issue of Biafra, these are the people who pioneered. You know what I'm talking about, Akere? Abandoned property. What is his name again? Keksaro Wiwa, who was still living in Linus Odumegwu Ojukwu's property in Port Harcourt until Abata killed him. And up to today, when they ask Pa Edwin Clark what is happening to the Igbo, he said Igbo should remain in Nigeria and do what? Die. But when you look at IPOB person, he said, no, they are interested in crude oil. But the Fulanis have been taking the crude oil for more than 60, 70 decades now. Sorry. I can tell you. So you can see the orientation, you know, one was made by Gowon, one has the combination of two powerful forces. One was a nationalist and one was a socialist. The socialist concept, the nationalist concept, he started with nationalism, and when he discovered that Nigeria is being fractured under corruption, he moved to Awoist, and he was able to understand that Awo actually never wanted this Nigeria to be part of Nigeria. But Azikiwe, in his pride, I don't know how to go about it, he wanted a nationalist agenda. And that is where we found ourselves today. How do you now connect this, you know, to their life and times, and of course the legacies they have left behind? Nigerians I've not seen anybody comment against Pa Ayo Adebanjo, but you see people talking about Edwin Clark from different perspectives entirely. He has consistently called for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to leave. The only thing Edwin Clark was able to do is to say he was supporting Obi. That was the only thing I can see. You know, but in everything, the Northerners, we are using him. We are using him against the interests of Igbos. We are using him. He went over the board where South was created. He saw himself as the father of the Igbo land, Igbo territory. Until Ohaneze, in their wisdom, was able to zone the Ohaneze to the south. And somebody from Ugwuota, Port Harcourt, emerged as the president of Ohaneze General, and that is John Mbata Azota. You can see what is going on. The man is not making noise, but I know that he's working on the ground. He's trying to make sure that every party, every group is being carried along. And that is why he has not come out to take a particular stand on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu until recently, where he said that the Eastern governors are the problem behind, because the fear of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's influence would dwarf anything that is left of their remains. But the fact is still remains that Pa Edwin Clark was a legacy. Pa Edwin Clark was a South-South voice. Pa Edwin Clark was a regional champion. Pa Edwin Clark was a semi-anti-Igbo personality. Pa Edwin Clark was a pro-Fulani agenda. Pa Edwin Clark championed factors, agendas, policies, sentiments against the Igbos. Deliberately or undeliberately. That is the picture of how everybody sees it. He's a very rich man, not a poor man. He's from Bomadi in Delta State, current Delta State. He's not an Ijaw man. But we'll tell you, a Ijaw leader. You see Nigerian press, Nigerian media. You see Nigerian media. They are one of our problems.
But he has never come out to debunk it. Like, he's not from the Ijaw nation.
Bros, but we are seeing that Bomadi is in Delta State. Abi? And you see the reason why Samuel Obomudia was able to make him one of his cabinet members as at that time, because he's from Delta State, Midwest. Do you understand? Midwest. So if we are saying this thing, let people get the facts correctly. That at a point, these people begin to, deny who they are because of Gowon, because of Fulani. But you can see the damage that is going on in Delta State today. You can see the concept of the Fulani agenda being deposited on the resources of that region, because they do not want anything Igbo factor. They don't want any Igbo man to come around. They don't want. But Igbos have said it clearly. Igbos have not able to lay their hand on the oil immediately after the war till date. Are the Igbos not surviving? These are the questions we need to ask these people. But I can tell you, he died a Biafran, but a Nigerian physically. Because I know how they are going to bury him in Sokoto or in Bomosho. They're not going to bury him there. They're going to bury him in Delta State, and Delta State is Biafra land. What is called South-South? Go and Google it. Write South-South on the Google and see the signs. Google will warn you. Say there's nothing like South-South. What you will see there is South-East, Southwest, North. There's nothing like North-North.
What of Niger Delta?
But let me tell you, Niger Delta, listen to that name. Niger Delta was a name given to people from a tribe in Bayelsa State. Are you listening to me? In this present Bayelsa, understand what I'm saying? In this present Bayelsa, a distinct tribe, that was the name Azigboro and the rest of them were able to coin and call Ijaw people Niger Delta. But how many Nigerians will be able to tell you that? But when you mention Niger Delta, they say including Bini. Who told you that? That Bini is Niger Delta. Bini is Old Eastern region. Became Midwest under Osita Osadebe because the British still fear the Igbo influence. After they have conquered Benin, it took them 45 years before they can conquer the Igbo land. The Yorubas actually invited them to come because they don't have any issue, any struggle in the north. But seeing what they have done so far, the Yoruba nation, we are inviting them to come and colonize them. But the Igbos, you see, that is where the issue started from. That's what the foundation, the coupling, the amalgamation started showing signs of, disintegration that led to the coup taking place as at that time. But I can tell you, Pa Edwin Clark did not actually push for independence of his people. I'm not talking of the South, because that's where he came from. He's an Easterner. He did not. But because he was bred and trained by Gowon, you can see now. But this man that has a relationship with an American, Azikiwe school in America, and you have another one, a British trained lawyer, who championed socialism and welfareism at that time. You can see how, he was consistent. Nigerians know that this man was, go online and see reactions from people. Nobody is talking about, the only person they give kudos to consistently without having any reservation is Pa Ayo Adebanjo. And that is the real fact why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu called them names, because they are Fulani stooge. The Fulani are their paymasters. They dictate for them, and that is why nobody can dictate for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu today. And this is why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu can proudly beat his chest and tell you, yes, I've got what it takes, and I'm not surrendering it to anybody. Under any circumstances, the world, by omission or by commission, will recognize the struggle against conquest, Islamization, Sharia, and the killings of the Christians in this part of the world.
Okay. Well, sorry, we're talking about Nnamdi Kanu beating chest, but Nnamdi Kanu, Paduka said when he wanted Nnamdi Kanu to stop this agitation, Nnamdi Kanu said that is Edwin Clark, is working for the Fulani, that is a Fulani slave. That's why, after he wanted Nnamdi Kanu to stop this agitation, but Nnamdi Kanu didn't hear because he said he was working for the Fulani. That is, Edwin Clark is working for the Fulanis.
Yes, I said it here. He's working for the Fulanis. He worked for the Fulanis. But unfortunately, it will be very difficult at this point in time to see somebody who is going to carry out from that angle, because that is the end of an era. Their era is gone. They are the last breed of that brigade. They are gone, and they are gone forever.
Thank you very much.